Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. It looks like Matt has let out with a Thoughtseize, snagging a Goblin Lackey. However, a Lackey has connected, putting in a Sling Gang Lieutenant, as this game is already getting a little out of hand here, as Mark the Goblin King does his thing. Turn 1 Lackey, connecting, Cavern of Souls, a tough to deal with card, and we've got a Munitions Expert that's actually going to take down this Icefang Coatl. So that surprise blocker does draw a card, but doesn't ultimately do its job of preventing this Goblin Lackey from connecting. A Matron now. And he grabs a Muxus. Muxus is a new printing from Jumpstart, and a devastating one when he enters the battlefield. There's a Caracas now to go along with him, making it even more ridiculous, though. Let's be honest, this is probably going to be game unless Matt can pull something out. He is let out with the Brainstorm, and he really needs an awful lot. The Sling Gang Lieutenant is going to give Mark a tremendous amount of reach. And another Icefang Coatl comes in. This one draws a card, and it will block. Mark allowing the trade to happen. Pushing through 4 damage. Oh, and actually that looks like Pashalik Mons. So I guess maybe that wasn't Muxus that he grabbed. May have just grabbed Pashalik Mons, and this should be it. Sacrificing 4 goblins, the Sling Gang Lieutenant. Each one of them is going to result in a life loss and a point of damage, thanks to that kind of makeshift Siege Gang commander. Of course, the huge upside there is not needing to spend the mana to activate. You can use Sling Gang Lieutenant along with the Modern Horizons rare to do 2 damage per body, which is an awful lot. Goblins tends to bring a lot of 1/1s to the table through Sling Gang Lieutenant, Mog War Marshal. Really no difficulty in getting sacrificial goblins. One of the bigger decisions Goblin players have is actually which Goblin tokens they want to use. There's a lot of good ways you can go with that. I enjoy unglued ones, though I think my favorite might actually be the Khans Goblins. They're different. I know a lot of Goblin purists don't like them, but they are kind of like crazy little feral monkeys, and I just find them to be amusing. I mean, they're kind of like Yeti-like, given that they've got the fur to stay warm, but they are still goblins, and their lust for shiny things and destruction. Mark sporting his playmat that he won in the Pauper Open late last year. I cannot wait to get back to making these playmats for our champions and crowning champions in the store as well. We don't currently have plans to do that online. Keeping these tournaments fairly low stakes. You know, it's great prizes, but we're making sure that the incentive is about community and fun. The prizes are just a really excellent bonus. Giving away a random bonus promo. I actually just did a video cracking a ton of booster packs, and these are all bonus cards that will be given away this year in our weekly series. This Goblin Warchief coming down. Icefang Coatl brushed aside with the Gem Palm Incinerator, and Goblin Lackey just doing what he does. Bringing goblins to the yard. This war chief, very dangerous. Ooh, Plague Engineer. A major blow there. The 2 toughness on the war chief, incredibly important. And a munitions expert will not currently be enough, as Plague Engineer is a 2/2. And Plague Engineer would die as a state-based effect to the -1/-1. Goblin Ringleader finds just a lackey, not exactly what you're hoping for there. Now, at this stage, an incinerator or a munitions expert would be sufficient to remove this Plague Engineer. It is worth noting that Matt is on a World Gorger Dragon build. Oh, now Oko. Making a food, and this is getting bad. So we may not see the dragon side of things here. Mark resolving a matron. A brainstorm in response. If matron does enter the battlefield, it'll trigger and then die as a state-based effect. And this Oko's still a problem. Gem Palm Incinerator. Step 1. Killing this Plague Engineer. Uncounterably and drawing a card. And now freeing up 4 power, which can go after this Oko. Not enough to clear him. But it does push him down quite a bit. On the next turn, he'll be able to make a food if that elk can get handled. I'm sorry, making the food an elk. If that gets handled, then the Oko will get cleared. But this is a lot of steps to clear this 3-mana Planeswalker. But I think that is work that is likely necessary to do, as the alternative is really just letting him get completely out of control. These 3/3s are very legitimate obstacles for a Goblin deck. These are 2/2 bodies right now, and 3/3s absolutely dwarf them. This is not Hearthstone. 3/3s are so much better than 2/2s, as that healing at the end of every turn. And now an elk standing in the way. Aether Vial. Not at its best versus Oko. It can be elked if it becomes a problem. Though it may result in Matt using Oko in a potentially suboptimal way. Can be difficult to tell. Right now, the Goblin King with 4 mana sources, it does feel like the Aether Vial not that big a deal. However, Matt playing it safe and taking it out. All of these goblins attacking, and this Ice Fang Coatl coming in. Really making a mess of that combat. Only 2 damage coming through. And that Ice Fang drawing a card and killing the War Chief or Lackey. However the blocks were made. Now Entomb, and it might just be a merciful death now. Euro going to the graveyard. Off of Entomb, and now escaping. These dragon builds radically different than builds in years past. They're able to take advantage of the enter the battlefield triggers of Arkham's Astrolabe and Icefang Coatl in order to draw the rest of the deck, creating tons of mana, and then ultimately just win the game. And if that doesn't work out, you can get a Euro in there and bring him back for tremendous advantage as well, gaining 3 life, drawing a card, and making a land drop. It's every blue mage's dream. Okos just making this game state more and more absurd as additional food enters a Grafdigger's Cage far too late, as Euro's already on board, wreaking havoc. And more Elks arriving, pushing through damage, now down to just 1, as Goblin Ringleader chump blocks Euro. And we are going to be on to game number 3 here. I don't think there's even a card that he could conceivably be playing outside of like Muckus. Well, Sling-Gang Lieutenant can keep this going. Icefang flashing in. So we're going to see one more turn out of this as these goblins can block and be sacrificed. And that is what we see as everything turns sideways. I believe 3 life will be the final here. And that is it for game number 2. We'll see what the Goblin King can do on the play. Looks like the players are ready to go with their hands here for game number 3. Now, I'm pretty sure Grafdigger's Cage would actually stop Muckus. I noticed the Goblin King had played that. He does, if I remember the card correctly, he reveals cards from the top of the library and then puts them into the battlefield. I think Grafdigger's Cage expressly says that that is not allowed. Got a Goblin Lackey and a Karakas. That Force of Will stopping that turn 1 Aether Vial. And now Brainstorm for Matt. Will this game end with a super fast World Gorger Dragon finish, or will this be a long drawn out control battle? Will the Goblin King manage to assemble an entire squad? Anything can happen here. These wildly unpredictable. Oh man, so we've got this Lackey putting in just a Mog War Marshal. More people have joined the Discord room there, shrinking the footage. If they don't pop out, we'll see if we can increase the size of the background. And Entomb. For World Gorger Dragon, he is not legendary, folks. Now that's a Watery Grave for Matt, so this is just going to be infinite black mana. Every time so he's paying 2 life to get the blue mana this first time. He's got a Brainstorm. I misread that? We've got a Fatal Push. Was no Animate played? Sorry, guys. I got distracted. It's possible that no Animate has been played here. We've got a Fatal Push. Taking out the Lackey. We are back down. So these are new events. I will have to remind the players to not hop in on the feature match, no matter how exciting they are. And it is exciting. Oh, the chaos. We do these in one take, so sometimes these get a little crazy. This is one of the crazier ones in recent memory. We've got Muckus on the battlefield, beating down, World Gorger in the graveyard. And 2 mana for what looks like a Drown in the Lock. Taking out what looks like a Goblin Crater Maker. And that is going to do it. So Mark the Goblin King taking that one down on the back of Muckus, mostly just being a big boy. I mean, that guy has got some beef behind him, and he takes that one down largely by himself. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.